What's up? Jay Honesty here. James Honesty the fourth. Jay, whatever. I'm going to start doing a series of videos I want to record just so I can go back and watch from time to time. Maybe I'll upload them, maybe not. Just to keep records of certain things that I find interesting. This particular video is going to be loosely based on the history of the origins of hip hop music in America. I decided to do this because of recent events, things that have been going on. I'm going to start my timer here. I want to try to keep some of these videos around 5 minutes or so, and then I'll just keep them going. Due to recent events as of late, I'm going to say like maybe the past 2 or 3 years, I'm going to say at least 3 years ago, I noticed online I saw videos of rapper Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes saying things of the nature of that hip-hop was created by blacks and Puerto Rican 50-50 or just flat out by Caribbeans and Hispanic. Had the greatest impact and influence on the hip-hop culture, which I found to be somewhat interesting. Someone of my age, I'm 52 years old. So when I was coming up as a kid, hip hop music was new. It was brand new. It wasn't even being played over the radio. So I've seen it from its inceptions as far as coming into the mainstream to current date. And I can tell you this for sure, in the 90s, now by this time I'm in my 20s, when Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes first hit the scene. Well, Busta Rhymes hit the scene a little bit earlier, maybe in the late 80s, early 90s. But nevertheless, when they started their careers, the things they're saying now, they've never said anything to this extent back early on in their careers and throughout their careers. I would be surprised or pressed to find anyone that could find an interview or article of them saying hip-hop came from Jamaica, outside of the stories that we once believed about Kool Herc creating hip-hop, which is completely false. And Fat Joe, Puerto Ricans and blacks created hip-hop 50-50. The first thing we need to understand about this subject and in relation to this argument is creation versus participation. There's a fine line drawn into that. Creation versus participation. Created something versus participating in something is completely two different things. I'll go on record and say that people of Caribbean descent and Hispanics absolutely participated in hip-hop early on. Not in the beginning, but very early on they did participate, but they didn't create anything. Number one, it was created here in the Americas. All the elements that create the hip-hop culture, from the graffiti, the dress, the rhyming, the cadence, the swag, all of those elements came from black Americans in America, and hip-hop was birthed in America. So if you were claiming that hip-hop came from Jamaica or Puerto Ricans, then simply show me proof from your homeland, not in America, from your homeland, elements of hip-hop culture prior to 1970. Show me any of the elements that you were doing that we weren't already doing here in America and prior to 1970s. It has to make sense. During that time in America, you were not the majority, probably not even the majority now population-wise. So I don't see how a handful of people from Jamaica or a handful of people from Puerto Rico could come to a different country and create something that mainly black Americans were doing, per video evidence that we're the majority of the culture early on, but yet your country's created it. That doesn't make any sense. It's just logic. It has to make sense in order for me to buy into that rhetoric. Now, you watching black American kids do our black American things in our country, and you're taking a liking to it, that makes sense, which means you joined in. But without us, black Americans, exactly what did you create. You know, if you came in and started doing something and doing it a little bit different, you didn't create it, because without us showing you first, you would never have known about it. Like, again, it has to make sense. So I mean, the age of Aquarius, and we are in the age of Aquarius, and it's hitting a little different. It's the age of information and technology. A lot of the old myths are starting to die out. Uh, as Cat Williams said, the truth needs no motivation. The truth is going to truth. So I'm going to stop right here. Then I'll get into some videos that there's my alarm. So.